Hello and welcome back to the Food Guilt Coach podcast. And in today's episode, we are actually going to go through how you can enjoy this Easter bank holiday weekend without screwing up your diet and without, most importantly, screwing up, sabotaging your mind. And I want to start with just a little bit of a story about how I used to approach bank holidays and weekends in general, probably. And the funny thing is that we are all creatures of habit, right? And there's one thing that we all naturally like to be is proven right, okay? Because I think, especially like myself, we're all a little bit stubborn sometimes. Maybe not necessarily with others, but certainly with ourselves when it comes to being proven right. It feels good to be proven right. And there's something that I used to typically always do when I was heading into a bank holiday, and I would be anxious. I would be worried about the bank holiday because I'd be paranoid that I was going to ruin my diet, that I was going to ruin my food, and that actually what I was going to be eating was going to be completely against everything that I'd hoped and planned. And that I was only going to, eat loads of chocolate, drink loads of alcohol, and, whatever else until I was basically back in work and until I'd started again. And in like the week building up to it, I would be telling myself that this is going to happen, probably going to happen. I'm going to try not to, but probably not going to happen. It's probably going to happen, even though I'll try not to. Then the Friday night or the Friday morning, whenever it might be, pop into the shop and I would no doubt come out with some freshly baked hot cross buns, maybe some chocolate buttons, and I'd start eating it straight away before I'd even got into the car. And I would literally, in my car, sit down and go, I told you so. I told you. I knew you would do. I was right all along. And I would literally almost kind of like laugh at myself in like a positive way because it's like I'd proven to myself that I was going to do this. And it's so funny because instantly I just fulfilled my own prophecy just to prove myself right. I didn't even actually want it there and then half the time. And I certainly didn't want to carry it on over the weekend. But because I'd predetermined this, because I'd already subconsciously accepted that this was going to happen, and I'd convinced myself it was going to happen, then guess what? I was right. And in the moment, it was worth it. That sense of, well, I knew I'd do this. Yeah, it was worth it. But right afterwards, I definitely regretted it. And then, of course, because it was a bank holiday, this carried on into the Monday and back to work on a Tuesday. And because, well, let's be honest, who starts a diet on a Tuesday? So I'd always end up carrying on until the following Monday. And moral of the story is, don't be like James. And if that's one thing you can take away from this episode is don't be like James, and hopefully the rest of this we can identify who we would rather be and how we would rather approach a weekend, and especially a bank holiday weekend. And in today's podcast I really want to talk to you about how you can enjoy this Easter without screwing up your diet and sabotaging your mind like I used to be. And first and foremost, I just want to kind of like tap into a lot of the psychology around how we think the Easter weekend is going to be and the emotions leading up to it, and especially at the start of a bank holiday weekend. And fundamentally, anxiety is the anticipation of future pain. So if we have anxiety, if we're worried about how we're going to eat over the weekend, it's because we're worried that the scale might go up, that we might feel like we failed again, like we're worthless, like we're rubbish, like I just can't do anything right. So we're actually focusing on the potential outcome of something that actually hasn't even happened yet. But by focusing more attention on the negative outcome, we are therefore using my story more likely to fulfill that outcome and to actually make it so. So how do we reduce that anxiety, the anxiety of what hasn't happened? How do we stop worrying about what hasn't happened? And I always like to think of it as Don't blur the days. So as this comes out, it's a Friday, and the bank holiday weekend goes on to the Monday, and maybe you've got half term with the kids, and maybe you're on holiday, maybe you're catching this up and it's just another regular weekend. The key thing is to not blur the days. Don't just see this as a Friday to Monday. See it as a Friday. See it as a Saturday. See it as a Tuesday. See it as whatever day it is. See it as just a singular day. And then break it down even more. And just like a painter would have a blank canvas, okay, and then they would paint their picture on this canvas, they'd finish the canvas, and then they'd get another one and they'd paint a new picture. See your day as 3 canvases. You've got a morning canvas, you've got an afternoon canvas, and you've got an evening canvas. And so instead of blurring it into, say, a 72-hour canvas, we're literally breaking it down into, say, a 4-hour, a 6-hour maximum canvas. And the beautiful thing about this is we get to then choose and bring the focus right back to the here and now, rather than the outcome of like the overall weekend. We just get to think about, okay, this morning, how do I want this morning to look like? Oh, well, do you know what? I'm not going out for dinner until this evening, or I'm not seeing the in-laws until this afternoon. So this morning I can just do as I would. I can just have my breakfast as I normally would. I can have my glass of water, make sure I'm hydrated as I normally would. I can go out for a walk. I've got a little bit more time and it's lovely spring weather outside, so I'm going to go out for a walk. Rather than waking up straight away thinking this is not going to be a good day, and then instantly from word go today, we just sabotage ourselves based on the anticipation of that future pain that we have just predetermined, and then that we will self-fulfill because we have already decided that we will prove ourselves right. So instead of being in that mindset, strip it right back and have it as 3 blank canvases, because then your morning canvas can be, oh wow, look at that, I'm really proud of that one. And then when you get to, say, the in-laws, or you go visit someone, or you go out for lunch, you can then paint a different canvas. And you can just see it as this particular window, this time frame, and you can enjoy that. You can enjoy that meal, and you can follow good eating habits of making sure you slow down, you take your time, you don't have a fork full of food ready to go before you've currently finished the one that you're eating now. You have a drink with it, so you appreciate the meal more. And then you can finish at fullness, and you can be comfortable when you finish. And then that's that canvas done as well. And then it's like, okay, cool, we're home for the evening. So rather than blurring it, well, I've been out for lunch, I've let myself go, I might as well just get a takeaway and eat some chocolate just for the sake of it. We now have another beautiful opportunity with a brand new canvas to go, oh, well, let's just do as we usually would on a night. Let's just enjoy our family meal together, or enjoy a meal, or at the kitchen table, or wherever it might be, and just enjoy that. And then tomorrow morning you've got a brand new canvas, and this is how we can stop blurring the lines, because we can strip it right back to isolated time frames of the day. And this can just give you so much clarity, so much confidence in actually what you want to do. Because let's just, for funsies, let's just look at what you could do. Let's say if you did blur the lines, and right from this moment all the way until you were back into work or the bank holiday weekend had finished, let's just wonder what you could consume, okay? Do you know what? I'd probably having an Easter egg for breakfast, or certainly some like chocolate. Then I'd be skipping breakfast. Or if I did have breakfast, I'd maybe just have like a full English, or something a bit different than I usually would, just because, well, what's the point? I might as well indulge, knowing that I'm going out for lunch and I'm probably gonna get a burger and chips, or maybe some croissants and some cakes to follow, whatever it could be. And then afterwards we're probably gonna have some chocolate, and then in the evening we're gonna go out for dinner, and we're gonna get 3 courses, or we're gonna get a takeaway, and we're gonna get loads of sides, and then we're gonna get this. I'm getting dry throat from just talking about how much I could eat. Excuse me. And the point is that if we think about all of this, not just for today and tomorrow and then Sunday and then Monday, how would you feel about that? Like if you wrote down all that you were going to consume, or that you could consume, I want you to think about how you would actually feel about that. Not after you've done it, but ahead of time. So consciously think how you would feel about that. If you had it all out in front of you, how would you feel? Would you feel excited, or would you feel, oh gosh, that's a bit gluttonous, that's a bit greedy, I wouldn't enjoy that. I do not want to think about how uncomfortable I'm going to feel. Like, I wouldn't even enjoy that food. I'd maybe enjoy a bit of this, I'd enjoy that, but I never actually enjoy this bit over here. So I want you to start, tuning into how you would feel ahead of time, because just connecting to that emotionally, rationally, just really helps you understand that that isn't what you would want to do. And the fact that you would do it is simply because you just think, well, what's the point? I might as well. I'm going to prove myself right. But what if you proved yourself right by going, I will enjoy what I actually just want to? And this is where a huge difference comes in. And this is where you can really maximize these opportunities and these weekends, because I don't know how many bank holidays there are in a year, but there's probably, a dozen bank holidays. And there's certainly lots more weekends, but there's, Christmases, Easters, Valentine's, there's loads of different celebrations. So let's even just for argument's sake say there's a dozen weekends like this a year, okay? That over the next, say, 10 years is going to be 120. So we often think that, it's a bank holiday weekend, I kind of need to go for it. I might as well indulge, it's a bank holiday. But do you want that to be the same for the next 120 plus weekends? Bank holiday weekends, holidays? Probably not. It diffuses it a little bit, right? Because it's not that last supper mentality. It doesn't need to be the all or nothing, the feast or famine approach. And I think, again, by recognizing and remembering that this is never going to be the last bank holiday. I think this is obviously the April Easter one. I think there's 3 bank holidays in May alone. So it's recognizing that actually that this isn't the last, this is just the next. And the next one to be enjoyed. And what we want to do is define how we want to enjoy it, because food is a part of our day-to-day life. Typically speaking, we're all foodies. We all love food. But these weekends, are they just about food? Maybe they are, but it's still for understanding what you enjoy. But they're often about, excuse me again, they're often about togetherness, right? Family, time off, rest, relaxing. And we often make it about food, especially in our own mind, purely because of lack of clarity about what we want to do and a lack of confidence, which is simply what makes the weekend so nerve-wracking and almost makes us look forward to it being over before it's actually even started. And then by the time we're into work, we wish that we were back at the weekend so we could have actually enjoyed it properly, which is what we always wanted to do in the first place. So simply just by having the clarity about what you want to do and how you want to approach the weekend really does change the entire weekend, and especially your food around it. So what I want you to look at first of all is I want you to redefine your expectations of a weekend, of a bank holiday weekend, of a holiday, whatever it might be, of a stressful week even. Because do you want to lose weight this weekend? Is that realistic? Or are you setting yourself up for a frustrating outcome because of your unrealistic expectation? Because let's look at your past bank holiday weekend history. If I said to you, you could maintain this weekend, and would you be happy with that based on how your previous bank holidays have gone? You might go, absolutely, I usually put half a stone on. So that would be a huge win. Maybe even putting £1 on over the bank holiday weekend, would that be successful? Well, no, because I put £1 on. Yes, but if you used to put £7 on, that's a £6 improvement. So again, make sure your expectations are in alignment with where you're at within your lifestyle, within your life, within your social setting. Because then you can really maximize the fact that it's progress, not perfection. Because if you go into the mindset of going, well, I'm really happy to maintain this weekend, then you're actually probably going to consume less because you're being more realistic rather than going, well, I really hope I lose weight, but actually, do you know, I've already started, I might as well continue. And then that's where the pendulum swings the other way. So really make sure you've got those expectations in the right place. And what I want you to do, and I've got a little to-do list here that I really want us to focus on. And on top of what we've gone through already, and first and foremost, I want you to decide how you want to feel this weekend. Like, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel stuffed, uncomfortable? Do you want to feel sick from how much you've eaten? Do you want to feel like you've let yourself down? Or do you want to feel like, wow, do you know what? I've really loved it. I've loved this weekend. I've enjoyed my food, but I'm feeling comfortable still. Yeah, I've indulged a little bit here and there, but actually, I'm really proud of myself for not just saying, fuck it. I'm really proud of myself for just not going, well, I might as well. I'm really proud of the fact that actually I ate a bit of my Easter egg and then I saved the rest till the next day. Because I knew that I could, because actually I was relaxed about it rather than obsessing about it. And the way that I was relaxed about it was by just recognizing, I'm going to enjoy this chocolate, I'm going to take my time with it, I'm going to savor it, I'm not going to rush it because I know it doesn't need to be gone before Tuesday. So I want you to think about how you want to feel when your head hits the pillow. How do you want to reflect and look at the day? How do you want to wake up and feel? Do you want to feel proud of yesterday? I want you to do what your future self will thank you for. So really think about that. Next, I actually want you to write a list, okay? You can maybe do this like mentally, but write it down as well. You know, even save it in your notes. But I want you to list 3 non-food related things that you're really looking forward to this weekend. Because again, we make it so much about food in our own head, but these weekends typically aren't actually the key focus. The key focus is usually, and we're looking forward to seeing my niece, my nephew. We're looking forward to spending some time with the kids, taking them out on a day trip. And we're looking forward to just relaxing at home with my partner or by myself or with my dog or whatever it is. Like, list 3 things that you're really actually looking forward to, because remember, results follow attention. So if your attention goes towards these non-food related activities, then it helps us spread the energy rather than just focusing purely on food. And let's say, for example, the only thing that, you know, one of the things you're doing is actually a meal out. Brilliant. That might be revolved around food, but you're going for a meal out to see the people you're with. So you can write down, I'm really looking forward to seeing person. Yeah, it might be at a meal, but I'm really looking forward to seeing them. So I also want you to decide your canvas ahead of time. What does it look like? So now, you know, let's say if you're listening to this morning or this afternoon or this evening, don't just like pinpoint what this canvas will look like, but already have in your mind what your next canvas will look like. Because what I want you to remember is a confused mind says no. So if you go to a restaurant and you're already worrying and stressing about the menu, do I have a salad or do I have the burger and chips, salad, burger, chip, salad, burger? When we're in the moment, you're going to go for the most relaxing, most comfortable, most in the moment option that you just want on impulse. And if we can just think even just as simple as an hour ahead of time into the next canvas, so we can go, oh, do you know what, actually, yeah, we're going to go to the meal, and I actually don't really want the salad, because remember, sometimes we ask ourselves, what should I have? But actually, sometimes the question we want to ask ourselves is, what would I like? Because if we ask ourselves, what would I like? We then might go, do you know what, I'm going to have the burger and I'm going to have the chips. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to go for the cheeseburger, not the double cheese bacon burger, which I always get and it's always too much. And I always leave feeling absolutely stuffed, like I need to loosen my belt. I always finish my chips just for the sake of it. And I always feel uncomfortable. But maybe actually what I would like to do is just get the simple cheeseburger and get some chips, and you know what? When I'm full, I might leave some chips. The clarity there builds the confidence in the moment, and that's what reduces the anxiety of that future pain. And the final thing that I want you to do is actually remove a word from your vocabulary this weekend. I kind of want you to remove this word full stop, and that word is should, okay? Because the moment we use should, it only creates a distance between expectations and reality. And this works in all different aspects. Because if we go, I should be eating better though, that instantly just puts your mood and emotions on a downer. Let's say, for example, it's the Easter weekend and it's a little bit of light rain, a bit of drizzle. It should be sunny though. So instantly you just feel frustrated about the weather. Rather than just going, it's a little bit light and drizzly. Okay, cool. Let's still go. Let's still do this. Let's respond. But if we just have that mindset of but it should be sunny, all we ever do is resent the bad weather, and we blame the bad weather. Okay. So delete that word should, because maybe it's not about what you should do. It's about what actually you want to do in the moment, given the situation that you are in. Because let's say, for example, again, you're out for a family meal, or you've got, your parent coming around, or the in-laws coming around, or a friend coming around with some Easter eggs, and, they give you an Easter egg, maybe they give the kids an Easter egg, and you're in your mind going, but I shouldn't be eating chocolate, I shouldn't be having it. All that will make you do is think and obsess about the chocolate, which then is just going to be rummaging around your head. You might either just actually not eat the chocolate, but just be stressed out about it. Or you're then just going to eat the whole thing, continue eating it, thinking, I wouldn't have done that if they didn't bring the eggs round. They shouldn't have brought the eggs round. And all that does is create frustration. Whereas actually, if we see it from where we're at, okay, maybe I will enjoy a little bit. Maybe I don't want to enjoy a little bit. What would I like to do? What do I want to do? Rather than what I should be doing. So I hope that helps everybody today. And I just want to say a massive thank you, ladies and gents, for listening to the Food Guilt Coach podcast or watching this on YouTube. I really do aim to put out as much content as I can like this for free, because I hope and I hope it inspires at least one of you out there. And if you are one of those people, please feel free to hit subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, my YouTube channel. And feel free to rate the show if you wanted to, because as always it helps me, it inspires me, and it does feel good to give back as well. And feel free to share it with somebody else, so that it not only gives you the goodwill, but also hopefully it helps somebody else. I'll see you later. Have a great Easter weekend.